with some of my most favorite people in the world. And it was, to me, an electrifying moment, but it was also a very sobering moment. I could feel the presence of God. And we were talking about Numbers 33. And so the study became so involved that we moved over into a devotional that I've written. It's going to be released on my birthday, September the 7th. And the devotional is entitled The Wilderness is a Mirror. And so as we were breaking open Numbers 33, so when you look in Numbers 33, it's an account of all of the different encampments that the children of Israel engaged as they were transitioning out of being enslaved in Egypt into the promised land. Over those 40 years, they went through 24 different places. And each one of those places have significant meaning. They've got metaphorical meaning, but it also speaks to the psychological process of transformation that was taking place in the children of Israel. And so as we were studying that, we got to talking about our own wilderness places and what that really means. And it's not necessarily just unnecessary hardships, but it's like our souls are in motion. We hear from God that we're going to be blessed in a particular place, and of course our souls have to be prepared to stand in that place, to prosper in that place. And a lot of times the reason why we're not in the place where it's being prophesied that we're going to go, or that we're going to be blessed, we're not in that place yet because our soul hadn't prospered to substantiate, to be able to stand in that place. And so when we look at their encampment from place to place, 24 different places over 40 years of their transitioning out of slavery into the promised land, we start to realize when we look at our own life, we're not just wandering from place to place. We're being formed. God's intentional in every place that we travel through. Like, for instance, their very first stop coming out of slavery was a place called Sukkot, temporary housing. It was a place where they had to get their footings, where they had to become acclimated to the fact that they no longer had the certainty of being fed by those that were enslaving them or housed by those enslaving them. But at this point, they were going to need to depend on the unseen hand of God. And from there, they moved into a place called Etham. Etham represents God with us. They begin to see the presence of God as he was there as a cloud by day and then a pillar of fire by night. They knew he was present, but they didn't know him. They hadn't learned of him. And as they were traveling from place to place throughout the 24 encampments that they experienced over the 40-year transition, it is powerful to see how metaphorically and how psychologically they transformed. They literally moved out of who they were into totally different beings. It's amazing how this transition takes place. And so I invite you, take a look at Numbers 33, but not just Numbers 33. Go back and take a look at Exodus 12, all the way through the book of Deuteronomy, when they actually arrived there on the brinks of the promised land. Look at how they have transformed, how the people now, the generation that will be entering into the promised land, was totally different because everyone of the generation that started out had died out, including Aaron and Moses. Powerful, powerful transitional story. But it's not just about them. It's about us. It's about our spiritual growth. It's about our transformation. It's about your wilderness being a mirror. I invite you to join me as we break open this study in the future. Listen, I've enjoyed sharing this with you, and I enjoyed that study to the fullest last night. And I'm hoping that you'll be able to join me as I progress in this wilderness story of how it reflects a mirror in our lives.